Hey there, I'm Mark from Spectrum Pulse, and today we have from Ravyn Lenae, Bird's Eye. Okay, look, my issue with Ravyn Lenae's 2022 debut, Hypnos, is that while the R&B vibes were ethereal, often organic, they tended to wash over me with only fleeting impact. It's a good album, generally enjoyable, just rarely as memorable as I would hope. So on the one hand, I am not surprised that she pivoted to a shorter and sharper pop-leaning album, backed up by West Coast producer legend DJ Dahi and a couple notable guest stars like Childish Gambino and Dolla. Really drill into that nostalgia window for 2000s pop and acoustic R&B, and further draw out the Aaliyah comparison, maybe a bit more of the rock splash that SZA was trying on SOS. Unfortunately, the comparison that I couldn't shake is the glossy pop side of Doja Cat, between the lightweight genre bouncing, the baby voice singing, generally well-defined bass grooves, but also the sinking feeling that all these songs should have more melodic impact than they do, which has Bird's Eye feeling like a slight overcorrection from some of the issues on Hypnos. Instead of running too long, songs now feel more abbreviated, more TikTok ready, with less jazzy neo-soul live percussion and blockier, cheap-sounding drum machines, with some more defined hooks but considerably less organic atmosphere. And it's not like Ravyn Lenae is bringing a lot of an edge or intensity or a lot of emotive range to her soft-spoken cooing. It's the same frustrating feeling that I had with Erykah DeCassier's album this year, a focus on blunter immediacy, especially in the percussion, and it's probably gonna work for some audiences, but to me lacks a certain textured impact. Now this has some stronger moments. That punchy new disco groove of the opener Genius, it's legit great, accepting the reality of conflicted relationships, later echoed in the more forceful swagger of Love Me Not. The soulful chops with Childish Gambino on One Wish, as she's yearning for her father to be more of a presence in her life, with Childish Gambino playing that father role, that was good. And the slight operatic flourishes in the acoustic neo-soul of From Scratch, they were pleasant alongside the pillowy bedroom pop of Pilot, and that reminds me a lot of SZA's Good Days. That's a compliment. But then you get the wonky and springy metallic drums around the acoustics of Dream Girl with Dolla that do not flatter the vibe, followed by a twinkling but leaden reggae groove on Candy that just does nothing for me. Same for the watery stutter of Love Is Blind. But the worst might be that painfully tinny attempt at glitch pop on One of One, where it sounds like all the digital artifacts were dumped on a mediocre 2000s R&B song. Nothing is coherently blended before that hideous solo. It's just a total mess. And you know, all this might have been saved by the writing, and unfortunately it's spotty. I think the frustrated relationship dynamics taken with a sober, higher view of things, hence the album's title, it leads to some relatively mature, tasteful observations, a little bit more self-aware, but a lot of the pictures feel kind of disconnected and meandering, and when the project only runs just over a half hour, the sluggish momentum and the lack of greater meat in the songwriting makes it feel even more lightweight and formless to me. And that's frustrating because on some level, I get the intent behind this. It's trying to be more focused and hook-driven, trying on a bunch of different sounds, showing off more diversity, more pop friendliness. But the fundamentals, they feel thinner, and given that I'm still not over the moon with Ravyn Lenae's baby voice cooing or the songwriting, I find the missteps harder to overlook. Overall, it is okay, but it does feel like a step back. All I'm saying. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to see more, please be sure to like, share, drop comments, subscribe. Yeah, this one might get a little bit of backlash. I'm sorry, I really wanted to like this. I was really excited coming off of Hypnos, which apparently I'm against the norm for liking that in comparison with some other critics. We'll have to see where all that falls out. But beyond that, anything else I might be able to do to improve my presentation, I'm all ears. And if y'all want to get involved in helping support the channel, get projects on my schedule, yell at me on my Discord, the link to my Patreon is right over there. If you've heard some negative buzz in and around Patreon right now, well, that's because they're deciding to roll out a change to their revenue model that they're pushing onto creators because they don't know how smart app development works, and because Apple's trying to Shanghai them into using the App Store, pushing additional fees on subscribers who go through the app, but also using it as an excuse to kill the per-creation revenue model. Which, given that I already tried to experiment with switching over to the subscription per month model back in 2019 and lost about 60% of my revenue, that's a bit of a problem. So I would say subscribe to Patreon for now. Again, they're planning on making this fix permanent in November of 2025, so a lot of runway here. But in the meantime, yeah, there's other ways. If you want to buy merch, links down there below. You're going to get a tangible product at least, and for some reason, YouTube's being better than this. But with all that being said, I'm Mark, you're watching Spectrum Pulse, and I'll see you next time.